What is up, guys? It is the Bluebloods, and we are back with another interview, man. And we got the best freshman in the FCS, man, Tony Muskett, Monmouth QB. He was the Big South Offensive Freshman of the Year, a Jerry Rice Award finalist, first team All Big South last spring, and was a unanimous pick for preseason this year. Tony, I appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you for having me. I'm excited to get talking and discussing the topics.
Absolutely, man. So we got to go all the way back to high school, man. You were a standout at West Springfield, threw for over 7,000 yards, man, almost 70 touchdowns. What schools were on you the hardest, and who were your favorites as you were coming out of West Springfield?
So coming out of high school, I had 9, 10 offers. I eventually I narrowed it down to I had my final three I put out, and that was Monmouth, that was Coastal Carolina, and University of Pennsylvania in the Ivy Leagues. And so I really came to my decision just because the Monmouth coaches, I took a couple visits up there, and I could really just tell that they're very family oriented at that in our program, and so I could kind of see that through my visits up there, and I could tell that like all the guys up there, they really loved being there, and they loved the coaching staff, they loved each other, and that was kind of like the deciding factor for me. Like I felt like I would be a part of a family up there, and so that's really why I chose to go there.
Absolutely, man. And you came in, you make an immediate impact by winning the QB1 spot. How did you come into Monmouth and earn that QB1 spot as a true freshman?
Well, so initially it was me, another guy, older guy, Max Smythe, and he was taking the 1 reps, and so it was between me and him, and I was like okay with that. I was still working hard trying to get the spot, and then eventually he had a little arm issue, so I started taking more of the 1 reps, and then eventually as it came to game week, I was starting, and then from there on, it just the season took off, and so really it was just the biggest thing that I learned trying to like fight for 1 reps and like be the best quarterback on the team is just it's really as much as a physical grind, it's a lot of a mental grind too, especially like coming into a new program. Because obviously out of high school, I ran a spread in high school, but it wasn't really like as advanced as the spread I'm running now. So there's a lot more reads, a lot more checks for me, a lot more play audibles. And so it kind of took me some time. Luckily, because COVID, I could and have the fall to kind of learn and progress like that since we had a spring season. So it took me a lot of time to kind of progress through the offense and then really feel comfortable with it. But, over time with the reps, I was able to like get really fine tuned with it and feel really good in it. So yeah, it paid off.
Oh man, it did. I mean, the Big South Freshman offensive Player of the Year. How much freedom did they give you at QB1? In terms of audibles, checking out of plays, calling coverages out. How much freedom did you have in your first season?
They gave me like as much freedom as anybody else. They really. That's why I love Coach DiMuggio and Coach Gallo, our offensive coordinator, just because I feel like they really put faith in me, and I really appreciate that. Like they didn't hold anything back. When they were teaching it to me, Coach DiMuggio, he would like put in everything. Coach Gallo, he said like we're gonna run all that stuff for week by week, and they really put it on me, to like fully understand it. If I had questions, to reach out to ask them, and that's why another big reason why like I love Mama so much, just because the coaches, they really believe in their players, and they leave it up to them. Like if they believe you can do it, they're gonna give you the opportunity, and that's what they did, and I appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. And it's a huge jump from high school to college, no matter where you're playing in the country. What were some of the biggest challenges you had to overcome in your first season?
Biggest challenge is obviously, first game when I got out there, the game speed's a lot faster than high school. I tried my best to prepare for that, just going through like reads and practice in the off season. But like really besides that, like my guys on my offensive line, receivers, they really made it easy on me adjusting because like they were obviously with an older team, a lot of guys coming back, but they were last year, they were pretty understanding, that I was a young guy, like learning the offense for the first time. And so even though like I would probably say the playbook was the hardest to learn, I can't even say that because they made it easy on me just by like helping me out. Like if I had a question, they would just answer it right away. There was no like stress or anything. If I messed up, it was no problem. Like next play, like we're with you. And so having all them behind me and have them help me out, it really just made the transition a whole lot easier because there's a lot of stuff going on in my head. But now that I'm up to speed on everything, and I feel like I know everything really well, I think that like we're gonna be able to help each other out, and it's gonna like take the offense to a whole new level.
Oh man, I'm excited to see how it develops through. But your name first team All Big South, man. And being the quarterback, it means you were the best quarterback in the conference. How did it feel to get that award? And do you feel any pressure to live up to that hype going into year two?
Um, I don't really focus on the individual accolades too much. When I committed to Monmouth, my one goal was we want to win a SCS national championship. Um, I don't really like the awards and stuff are nice, like first team, freshman year and stuff. That's great, but I really like when I wake up and I try to like go to workouts, go to throw stuff like that. My one goal is to get better so that we can win a national championship. The culture now at Monmouth is changing. I feel like we have a lot of guys where it used to be, let's win the Big South, let's compete for the conference championship. Now everybody's all in on we can win the national championship. You like mentioned at the tops with like the North Dakota States, the JMUs, and so with that in mind, taking into account the pressure, the only pressure I really feel is the pressure to make it to that national championship game and win it. And I think that's a good thing because if there's no pressure in situations, that means that's probably not like worth fighting for. And so the pressure for coming back, that's really it. I just feel like, I just want to play my best, help everybody else play their best, and then hopefully at the end of the year we'll be holding that national championship trophy.
Hey man, you guys made a nice run this year. I mean, you gave Sam Houston State one hell of a game. You threw for 300 yards, I believe, in that game too. So I'm excited to see what y'all do. But look, last question on last year before we move into some more stuff. What letter grade would you give yourself for your freshman year at Monmouth?
What letter grade? I'll give myself a C because I'm going to compare that to the rest of my 3-4 years there, and I think I can take it up a whole nother notch. And so when I'm looking back, hopefully as a junior or senior, I'm going to look back and think that wasn't very good. So that's my goal, to kind of blow that out of the water in the years going forward.
Oh man, hey, that's pretty damn good for a C, man. You did like for a true freshman not to throw any interceptions in the regular season, over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns in like 4 games. It's pretty outstanding, man. But looking at your game critically, what's your biggest strength right now as a player?
I think my biggest strength is just I really feel comfortable in like a run pass option offense, the RPO offense, because I feel like I got quick feet, and so I can get set to a run play, and then if the read opens up, like say I'm reading a free safety on a read, I can flip my feet and get back to like a middle of the field throw or to a sideline throw really easily. And so with that, being in mind, that kind of helped me. Like the coaches, I feel like they understood that, and we would run a lot more stuff like that where I was comfortable with, like quick getting the ball out, working to my strengths, and just being able to use that when we're going against obviously like the higher speed, like I was talking about. It makes the game a lot harder in the defense, having like so many things you have to guard. Is it a run? Is it a pass? You have to be ready for anything. And so I think we used my strengths to the advantage in that way, and that really helped us out last year.
Absolutely. And you're only coming into year two, man. When you look at your game, what's one thing you feel like you need to improve on to take your game to that next level?
Really just my accuracy, like loosening up my hips, getting my footwork correct. Just because, there's nothing like I didn't feel like there was anything really like that really stood out. Like I'm bad at this, but obviously I can get better in every like little thing, whether it's just game plan films, like leading up to the week, or just making sure like throwing out route, making sure it's on his outside shoulder instead of his outside hip, stuff like that. Just the little fine details that I can really clean up, just to make sure that like we minimize all the mistakes and make sure that nothing like stems from little problems that continued on, just to get rid of them now before we get into the game weeks and stuff.
Hey man, I like to hear that. And film study is so important for a quarterback. And kind of breaking down film, what are the biggest things you look for when you're watching film on a defense?
So in the game week when I first look at the tape, the first thing I'll go through is I'll go through their just base like first, second down, how they play certain formations, just to try to get a sense of like who they are as a defense, like who they think their ID is. Do they run a lot of cover 3? Is it cover 4, press the bail? Is it man? Is it cover 1, cover 0? And then after I go through that, I'll rewatch. I'll go, third downs, fourth downs, pressure downs, see what kind of blitzes they like. Just try to get their whole scheme down so I can fully understand, what situations are they going to do this, when are they going to do that. And then later on in the week, once I feel like I really have a good understanding of their scheme, I'll go back through and then I'll watch for like player personnel. So, watch this corner. Like, does he like jamming hands on at the line? Does he like press bail? Is he physical? Is he like a more coverage guy? Stuff like that, just to kind of like get their tendencies down. And so using those little things, when it's in the game and you want to try to get an easy, like an edge on that guy, like what do you think he's going to do? I have that in the back of my mind, and I can use that to help me out and help the receiver out too.
Hey man, you sound so prepared. Like I feel like I'm talking to a fifth-year senior right now on like watching film and breaking down stuff, man. So I'm very excited. But even though you're just a second-year player, man, the quarterback's always the face of the program. So what are the team goals for Monmouth for the 2021 season?
I mean, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, obviously we want to repeat for a third time as Big South champions, but even beyond that, we want to win a national championship. If you ask, I think 100% of the guys in our team, they're going to give you that answer. That's really just the mantra that we've been living by. The coaches have really like challenged us to that, and we've pushed up to that level of expectation this offseason. We have a lot of guys we know are really talented that can do a lot of things in the field, and we really don't feel like we have a weakness at any position. And so if we feel like we're better than the other team at every position, like we all expect to win every game and to go on to be an undefeated national champion. And that's really what we're shooting for this year. Anything else would kind of be a disappointment.
Hey, man, you mentioned that you're better at every position. I think you guys had 20 All-Americans for the Big South named the other day. So, I mean, that's an outrageous number of All-Americans for one team to have. But, you said you don't like the accolades, the personal things, but those will come with the team goals. But for you, when you do look at some of the personal stuff, what's like one or two things that you have in your head that you want to achieve personally this next season?
Just personally, I mean, obviously, like I said, I want to be the quarterback of the national championship team. But beyond that, for what I can do, I want to be the best FCS player. I think all of our guys want that for themselves too, because that's another thing. When you have a team like ours and we all want that one national championship goal, in practice, we can also challenge each other for like try to get better as well. So, we have a lot of guys in our team where, they can be one of the best players on any team they go to. And so we feel like if I'm like competing against them every day and working against them every day, that's going to make me better personally. And then whoever that turns up at the end of the year, whether it's, conference award, national award, doesn't matter to me, but just that daily work with each other, it kind of produces that. And then someone's bound to shine on a national stage, and I'm happy for everybody.
Absolutely, man. Hey, iron sharpens iron and practice every day. And I know being the face and leader of this program, man, I know you're going to give me the first game's the most important, but just put a but behind it after you say it. What game on y'all's schedule are you looking forward to the most?
Yeah, obviously the first game, just because say we get back out there. But yeah, besides that, I'm looking forward to North Carolina A&T, just because that's where my my high school head coach, he actually played quarterback there when he went to college. And so ever since we heard that they were going to be joining the Big South, this is going to be their first year in the conference, he's been in my ear about it, because he was my teacher in high school too. So he would always be in my ear about it, tell me about it. And so he'll probably come to the game. So that'll be kind of fun. It'll be the first time we'll see me play in college. So that'll be an exciting game for me. I'm looking forward to that one. And they're pretty good too. So it'll be a good matchup.
Oh yeah, man, they're really good. I think that was a huge addition for the Big South in terms of just national competitive, because North Carolina A&T, I believe they've won 3 out of the last 4 Celebration Bowls.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They're pretty good. But looking at your game, man, what NFL quarterback do you model your game after the most?
Well, I try to use to model on the field. I like to think I model Deshaun Watson, just because I like the way he plays. Like, I feel like he plays very confident, even though, he's not like one of those quarterbacks that walks around at like 230, 235 pounds. He carries himself. He's elusive, but he can make all the throws on the field. I'll see a little bit of Baker Mayfield in how I play, just because I feel like we have similar kind of like play styles in the way that we move in the pocket and kind of like maneuver around, find like the small windows. Even though we're not 6'4", 6'5", we can still find the throwing lanes and get it to our guys. But yeah, those two, I've watched a lot of tape on them. I enjoyed watching them in college a lot and in the NFL. So that's kind of the two I see most in me, and I try to play like that.
Hey, man, two pretty good options, man. Two of the best to ever do it on either level, man. But do you have a pregame routine, man? Do you have to listen to certain music? Do you have to lay out your uniform? What do you do on game days to get ready for the game?
Yeah, pregame routine. It's actually I feel like I have a little different one. So when I'm listening to obviously I listen to music, but when I'm listening to my music pregame, the whole beginning of the day, kind of, I try to just find like that one song that I'm really into, and then the whole pregame I'll only play that song. So I remember in I think it was our second game or it was our third game conference championship against Kennesaw State. It was just this one little baby song, and it was just getting me going. So that's just I had that on the whole pregame session, the whole throwing session, like all warm ups and everything. So it just kind of like I don't know, it helps me kind of lock in more, just having like one beat, one artist going on and on. I don't know, it just helps me out. It's kind of different than most people, though. I feel like.
Basically, like when I played back in high school, I just had one song I had to listen to like before I went on the field. Like it was like that had to be the last song I listened to. But I like how you just find one to put on repeat. You're like, I'm in this zone right here. So that's unique though. You did say that, but I know it's harder for a QB to be a trash talker, but it happens, especially when you get the DBs in your ear, the defensive linemen. How much trash do you talk during the game?
I'm not a big in high school. I talked a little bit more, but in college, I'm not a big trash talker. Just because what I've learned, one of my idols is Brady, and I know Brady is a big trash talker. But what I learned about Brady is like when in between whistles, like when the ball is snapped and the ball's in play, he's always level-headed. Like he may after the player on the side, he might get fired up, but he always keeps a level head. Like when the play's going on, he can't let anything like shake his mental focus. And so that was kind of something I tried to like, exemplify this year, just like making sure that I'm not going to let, obviously other teams are going to talk trash, but I really try to keep it like outside of my head, just focus on my responsibility every play. And actually helped out a lot. Like with that, I always felt focused in my assignment. And, even though I was off the field, I wasn't a big talker just because like when I was on the bench looking for the next drive, I was still thinking about, okay, last drive, like I did this, next drive I'm going to do this, like try to get better on it. And so it really just kind of helped me keep that focus throughout the whole game. And what I realized is when I'm locked in like that, I really don't even think about talking trash because I'm just locked into my assignment and like what I can do better the next drive.
Oh, man. And I know with quarterbacks, it's hard to talk trash because you guys got so much responsibility. Like the wide receiver can catch the ball, talk to the DB, and he's just got to go back to his spot. You got to get the play, make sure everyone's in order. So it's a lot harder for you to, get your words in. But if you had one route, man, you had like one route to save your life, what's your favorite route to throw? What would you pick?
Probably a post ball to TG, number 23 on our team. You see some highlights of him. He's a really good receiver. And I don't know, he just seems like the type of guy when you throw a post up to him, he's going to catch it. I just have that confidence in him. It's nothing special, but I'm taking him over any DB on the post ball.
Hey, man, I was watching a lot of your highlights, and there was a lot of 23s in those, man. So, that automatic connection, you got to have it. But, what I always try to find these for each position I have on the show. And I had a quarterback one, but everyone was picking accuracy, so I took it out. We get it. Accuracy is very important. But what's more important to a quarterback, man? Arm strength or pocket presence?
I'm gonna say pocket presence, just because I feel like a lot of NFL like scouts are realizing that too. Because back in the day, it was if you're 6'5", you get taken over a guy that's 6'1". Even the 6'1" guy is like just better overall. But now they're realizing that if you have arm strength, but like you can't evade pressure, then you're not gonna be able to get the ball off at all. I'd rather have someone that can evade the pressure and get him a good ball and get a completion as opposed to somebody that can't get it there at all. So that's really what I've been working on my arm strength this offseason a lot just because I feel like I can really improve that. And it has. But when I was growing up, when I was playing quarterback, like early in my years, I really stressed pocket presence just because, that's going to make it a lot easier on the O-line, on your running back and protection, just being able to, like, you make a guy miss once or twice and, like, make it easier on them and not always have to give up so many sacks. And so I feel like it's helped out in that way. I feel really comfortable in the pocket now. So, yeah, I'm going to say pocket presence.
Oh, I like that answer. You're the first one we got to try that one on because we had like 4 or 5 people just pick accuracy over everything every time. So I had to take that one out of the fray. But, what keeps you motivated year in and year out, man? But despite all the accolades, despite all the winning, all the praise you get, how do you stay motivated every day?
Honestly, what motivates me the most is we got a lot of older guys on our team right now, and I understand I'm just going to be a sophomore, but, they only have 1 to 2 years left. And like maybe just playing football in general, because not everybody's gonna go to the NFL, even though I wish they could. But with that, it's just I want to make sure their last year or two are really unforgettable. I want to end that, like make sure they walk away with the national championship. Because obviously, I think I have a lot more football left to play, but I know a lot of guys don't. And so I want to do everything in my power. Like I want to give my all so that they can have their dream year, and they can walk away from this, with the national championship ring, and just be able to say that they're really a FCS national champion.
Oh man, I like to hear that you thinking about the seniors on your team, man. So, last question here: what are you most excited about in your second year? Because I know the COVID year was so difficult in the spring. Only 4 games really played for you guys. So, are you more excited to play a full season? Are you more excited for the fans to get back in? What are you most looking forward to in your second year?
I'm excited for everything, to be honest with you. Just I got my first freshman season like under the belt. I got to experience it a little bit. But really just get that full, college football experience, traveling 5-6 weeks out of the year, going down to these schools and different areas of the country, then having them come here and really playing a full schedule, having fans back, having like my whole family be able to come see the games. It's going to be a lot of fun. I didn't really get that full experience last year, but this year, that's what I'm really looking forward to. Just all the like going back to normal, being able to really get the full college football experience and hopefully keep winning.
Hey, listen, I think you guys were one of the unanimous picks to win the conference again, man. Listen, when we start covering the playoffs on the show, man, we're definitely going to be tuned in. And if y'all make that full run, man, we're going to have you on to show off the trophy and the rings and everything like that.
Of course.
But, man, good luck on your season. But where can people find you? Social media, NIL stuff, shout-outs, anything, man. This time's yours just to kind of promote yourself.
Yeah, my Instagram is Tony Muskett 11, all undercase. All lowercase, no space. My Twitter is just it's at Tony Muskett. And then, if you want any name, image, and likeness inquiries, just you can DM me, or my Instagram DM should be open too. So that's probably the best way to contact me.
Absolutely. Guys, make sure to go follow Tony, man. We've been doing this FCS run here, man. Make sure to support these guys. The more followers, the more interaction, the more deals they can get. So make sure to support the players, man. It's the number one goal of this. But, Tony, appreciate you coming on the show, my guy. We'll definitely be in touch after the season, and definitely we'll have you back on, man, once you go to the next level and everything, man. I'm excited to see what you do this year, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for having me. It was a blast.
Absolutely. But guys, go follow Tony. Y'all know where to find us. Subscribe now on YouTube, any and all podcast streaming platforms. But for Tony, myself, and the Bluebloods guys, we are out.